Hello,
Hello, everyone.
everyone.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge podcast with me, David,
And me, Glenda.
and we are psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
I'm in Australia,
And I'm in the UK.
and we're joining forces to discuss and talk about the world of psychics, mediumship, and all things spiritual. We might even throw some random life topics in there too.
So come with us now on our podcast journey. Let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. Well, hello, lovely listeners, and welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. I'm here, as always, virtually with Glenda in Australia. Good morning, Glenda, or good evening it is for you.
Oh, good morning to you, and good whatever to whoever's listening this at this time. How are you, David?
I'm all right, yes. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Can't
Good.
complain. I had my event yesterday, so I'm like all fired up and ready to do another one. So don't ask
So
me in a week how I feel, but yeah.
Because it went very well, didn't it? So from what I see on the socials as well, it looked like you had a really good
Yeah.
time with the
It
girls.
was fantastic. I really pushed those ladies out of their comfort zone. They weren't expecting to read each other blindfolded on the day, but these women had signed up, and the way I do it, I make it fun. So you can imagine, I would let the flux fly. So my teaching was very down to earth and everybody loved it. We all had a good time. So
Good,
yeah.
good. And hopefully they left feeling good about themselves and
Oh,
knowing a bit more of their self-worth, which is what we're going to
abs
talk about today.
yes. Yes. Let's talk about
Yes.
that.
How about that
Mm.
segue? Wasn't How did you like that?
Oh, very smooth, you little slickster.
Thanks. So yes, today, people, we are going to talk about self-worth, especially when it comes to this old mediumship journey, because it's very different for everybody, and this journey can be a how I don't want to say a tricky one, but it can be tough at times, and our self-worth can be knocked quite a bit for whatever reason. And many people out there might feel like they're by themselves when they go through these things. They might think, no, why am I not feeling confident today? I feel judged, and even down to people tell me I shouldn't charge because it's such a gift. I shouldn't charge maybe. So all that we're going to talk about today. So hopefully those of you who are new to this, who are just coming into your mediumship journey, this is going to help you, but also might help other people out there understand the importance of why we should charge for our readings or our demonstrations or whatever, just so people can get our viewpoint on it, if that makes sense what I said. So, Glenda,
Yeah.
how's your
Yeah.
self-worth?
Oh, mine's pretty good with this sort of stuff. I don't know. Sometimes you go through these stages, I think, but that's more on what you're feeling and, the human side of it. But do you know one thing that what's got on my goat about this sort of stuff is people thinking that um, you're you're exploiting grief when you charge.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like you shouldn't charge. But if I don't charge, I don't get to pay for my training and my development because here in Australia, there's not many people that are going to train me where I have to go and do that work either in the UK or in America or whoever's going to help me with my development. So where does that money come from? And then where does the money come from for me to feed my family and pay for my website, pay my taxes to the government, pay for the Zoom, and pay for everything else, my insurance? If I'm going to do this for free, I need to live. So, how am I exploiting grief?
Yeah, and let's talk about that in more detail because I agree with what you've said. Um, yeah, I always say love and light does not pay my bills.
Mm.
I've got to, as you say, I've got to eat, I've got to pay my bills, and not just to do with this work, but normal day, day-to-day bills, your gas, your electric, your water, your council tax, your rent, and whatever else that goes on. So doing this work for free or to do this work for free will not get me anywhere. And so yes, there has to be a monetary value that we put on it. It's the equal exchange of energy, isn't
Energy,
it?
energy,
That's what it is.
absolutely.
Because I don't see this what we do as a gift. I see it as a skill that we have and that we have worked on. Well, I didn't just wake up one morning and go, "Right, I'm going to talk to dead people now for the rest of my life." It wasn't that was not my journey at all, as we know if you listen back to the episodes. It's about a skill that I've worked on, I've dedicated my time to, just like any other skill. Like if you're a plumber or a doctor
Yeah,
or an electrician or a beauty therapist or a hairdresser, you have trained to build your skill in order to do your job professionally. It's no different to what you and I do, Glenda, is it?
that's right.
And so you don't go into work working for free. I mean, how many people listening to this podcast have ever gone to their boss and said, "Oh, don't pay me for work this week. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just you take my time and energy for free. Don't worry about paying me." How many of you have said that out there?
Mm.
Zero. Because you know that you've got bills to pay. You know, if you've got families, you've got kids to pay for. You've got, their school uniforms, just general food, look at, keep your roof over your head, all that kind of stuff. And so for people to say that we should give this away for free, I think you're a bit deluded, to be perfectly honest. I've got, because we are humans living a human life which doesn't come for free. There's a cost and everything. And every time you look in the bleeding shop, something's gone up in price. The food prices, I don't know about in Australia, but every time we go into bloody supermarket, something's gone up by 50p, and it's just getting
Yeah,
ridiculous and out of hand. And so if we don't charge, what do people want us to starve? Do people want us to neglect ourselves and end up on a bloody street? Because that's what could happen if we didn't charge.
yeah,
So I think, okay, but like we talked about before we pressed play, we know that snobbery episode that we did, but there's even snobbery in the spiritual community itself when it comes to charging. I don't know if
mm,
you've been a witness to that as well, Glenda, where I had a follower a couple of years ago now on my Facebook. I was in a Facebook Live, and me and Bill, I think it was Kera's three of us. There was three of us. We were doing an event in Essex, and um, I mentioned on my Facebook Live that we're doing an event. Once we have to hire the hall and everything else, and it's £15 a ticket, which is cheap compared to some of these other people that are charging God knows whatever price. And this woman on my Facebook Live, who is a supposed follower and fan of mine, started going, "Oh no, 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 David, you've changed." And when someone says that to me, that really grates my fucking gears. Telling me, "Oh, you've changed," like you fucking know me. I don't know you from Adam. Because so no, we should give this, we should be charging for it. Well, I'm glad that you've got someone to pay your bills then, love, because I haven't.
yeah,
Actually, I'll tell a lie, I'll rewind that, just be a bit vulnerable here for a minute. If I was single and I didn't have my other half, I would not be doing this work.
no,
I cannot do this work without my partner because he works his bloody arse off doing what he does. So the majority of money that comes in, or majority of the money that he earns, goes on the rent. I pay the bills and he pays the rent. But I couldn't do all that myself. So if it came to a point, God forbid, that something happened or whatever, I wouldn't be able to do this work
yeah,
because I don't earn enough from doing this work because I don't take the
me
piss out of
too.
people. I don't take the piss. And I don't believe in charging £100 for a reading. I think that's ridiculous because I certainly wouldn't. When you see
Yeah,
mediums out there, especially American ones that charge $375 for a bloody half an hour reading, I
I
mean,
know.
for me that's taking the piss. But no, who am I to say? But might sound a bit snobby there. But I've 375. That's for me that money would be going on a holiday, not on a
Mm,
reading, just to be perfectly honest about it. So I can't justify that myself. And because I don't have high prices, I don't think, and I don't take the piss out of people, I don't earn a living from this. So that's why I have to do another job at the same
mm,
time. So when people say, "Oh, as you come back to what you said, oh, you feed on the grief of people," how? With what? If that was the
yeah,
case, I'd be a bloody rich man, and I'm certainly not. And as I
exactly.
say, if my other half something happened there, I'd have to drop this work. I'd have to go out and get a full-time job, um, and earn money that way. I wouldn't be able to do this.
But people don't have that sort of spare cash anymore. Everything
No.
is so expensive. And I know my price is very reasonable compared to some. Um, I remember starting and I was charging $50, $50. And this is interesting, right? And we're talking about the snobbery around pricing, right? I started at $50. I made friends with some local mediums. Again, this is where you get the kick in the guts. And I was charging 50 because I felt like, well, I'm just beginning my journey. No one knows me. I'm happy
Hmm.
with $50, that blah, 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 making all the excuses. And she said, well, I charge 120 for a reading. I said, yeah, but that's you, like you've been doing it for years, you have a following and all that. I'm just starting on my journey, so I can't charge what you charge. But then she turns around and says to me, but now they're going to put me in a line with you, and I'm not dropping my prices. You have to bring your price up. Why should I bring my price up? I'll put my price up when I'm comfortable to put my price up.
Yeah.
But it made me kind of feel like, why do I have to do what another medium in town says to me?
Mm.
That's your business. You do what you want with your business, and I'll do it with
Yeah.
mine. I,
Yeah.
I increased it through the years, I went from,
Yeah.
50 to 80 to then 120, like it's taken many, many years. I
Yeah.
think I'm going into just in my opening my own little business. It doesn't count for what you do. Look, you can do this work without having a business, you know what I mean? Without
Yeah.
registering a business, without doing it all legit for many years before you do this. And I'm sure there's that many mediums listening that do that, that don't pay tax, that, cash in hand, that do all the dodgy stuff that you're not supposed to do. Um, but we are legit. And I think I'm coming on to 7 years next month of running my own little business. And I've watched people come and go, pull the plug, resurface, pull the plug, resurface, come back, new ones come, they don't hang around because it's so hard to keep a business afloat on this sort of money.
Yeah.
It's not like, yeah, there is people out there that are booked months and months in advance. I guarantee you they're not reading every day of the week. I guarantee they're only reading so many days a week with a limited amount of readings. That's why
Mm.
they're booked for months and months in advance. But there's also people that have millions of followers that are booked months and months in advance. I'm happy cruising the way I'm cruising. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't need to charge an astronomical price because I find it as an everyday person cannot afford that. But again, if you put us in a category, I'm just being coming from a female's perspective, my little price does not even cut it compared to women that get their nails done every week, women that go and get Botox every week or every so many weeks. My hair, I have to get my hair done every so many weeks. So every other woman has to get that done. All the luxuries that women do, but then there's no money to have a reading because, again, it's a luxury
It's
if
a luxury.
for
Yeah.
some
It's not a,
people it's a
yeah, it's not a
luxury. It's not,
commodity.
and
Yeah.
it's not. That's right. So then if you compare our prices, I don't think they're that bad. I think that they're very
No.
reasonable. But also going and doing those $50 readings, holy fuck, did I reach burnout so many times.
Yeah.
So many times you reach burnout, you're depleted, and then you end up resenting doing this because you're flogging yourself for that tiny little price. You're undervaluing yourself because guess what? It's an imbalance. So if you're happy charging what you're charging, good for you. But don't sell yourself short as well. That's what I kind of feel. And if you're getting flogged where you're months and months in advance, to me, months and months booked, months and months in advance gives me anxiety
Yeah. Same as
because
me. Yeah.
You know why? And anyone, out there would be going, "Oh, you've got money blocks." I have no fucking money blocks, believe me. I have none, none at all. I charge my worth. I charge what I feel that I would pay. I charge what I think people can afford. And it's more about God, I've even just gone on to a bit of a rant and I'm just frigging lost where I was headed. But it's more about kind of coming back to yourself and being comfortable with what you're charging, your
Yes.
worth. Because at the end of the day, if I'm booked months and months and months in advance, there's one of me. What if something happens and I am sick for that whole week? God forbid. When the fuck am I going to fit everyone in?
Yeah.
That creates anxiety. And I remember talking, when we had Jessica on, and she's like, and then there's people that get abrupt because they've been waiting for 12 months for their
Yeah.
reading, and here you are canceling on them. Guess what? If I was waiting and you're canceling me, I'll be fucking pissed.
Yeah.
I don't cancel on people. The only
Mm.
time I have cancelled on people is because I've had to deal with the passing of my mum or my dad. I I have done this sick, and you know what I mean? I push myself, but I know where my boundaries are, but I will not be comfortable being massively booked months and months in advance. Is that then saying to the universe, don't book me months and months? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think so. It's kind of like I'm putting it out there. I don't want to be flat booked for 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
Well, when you have kids, shit happens.
Yeah.
I'm a hands-on mom. I'm a like, and I know my kids have grown now, but right up until now, my family come first.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my family come first. And I've had to be a mum, a carer for my parents, a wife. I look after the home front when my husband's working away. He works week on, week off, like you're holding down the house, you're holding down, no one else is there to pick you up. I have no family where I live. So I don't care if I'm not booked months and months and months in advance. If that
Mm.
floats your boat and you get off and telling people that you're booked months and months in advance because you're so fucking great, whatever. I don't care as long as it
Yeah.
makes you happy. Do
Yeah.
what makes you happy. As long as you can sustain it and you don't burn out.
Yeah. And you have to go with what you resonate with. When I first started, I did a year's worth of free readings. Um, because I was new, so I wanted to make sure I was in a place to, in the correct place in my head to charge. And when I first started charging, I charged £25, which
Mm.
is not a lot really compared to what some of the mediums out there are charging. But I think because of that self-worth and because of that thing in your head which goes, I'm not good enough, or should I be charging? And then if I do charge, I've then got the pressure of performing and really being great because I'm charging. We've got all that going on. So now if there's some new mediums listening to this, you're going to be in that same boat where you go, I should charge, but I can't. How can I charge when I don't feel good enough to do what? And it's that whole conundrum, and you've got to think, but when will you ever feel good enough? So sometimes there comes a point where you've got to go, right, I've got to start charging for this now,
Yeah,
otherwise it does affect your worth. And again, at the end of the day, you've got bills to pay. But if you've got a full-time job and you're doing this on the side, that's a bit different for you. And I
yeah,
think when we're talking about money, it's very relative to every person's circumstance. So coming back to, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here. I know what I want to say, but
no,
bear with me. Coming back to the snobbery bit, there are mediums out there, more the old school mediums who are older, who are past pension age, who again have the same attitude of, well, I do this for free. I give I don't charge my readings in this kind of pompous way, and I'm like, well, good for you. I'm glad you've got a steady wage each
yeah,
month, which is your pension. Guess what? I haven't. I'm fully self-employed, even though I have another job that's also self-employed. I don't have a guaranteed wage every month. You do. You get your pension. Granted, it might not be a lot of money actually, but I don't know your circumstance. You could be a really rich pensioner, maybe you're not. But that's not my business. That's your
mm,
business. So congratulations to you. Well done for being the saviour for spiritualism. Well, here's a medal for you. Well done. It really gets on my nerves. Um,
yeah,
is stop putting other people down just because you want to be the martyr for spirit. I do it all for free. I give it all for free. Well, again, well done. Got a rich husband, or someone else is paying your bills for you. Well done to you. But that's not the same for the rest of us. Again,
That's right.
we've got to live, and stop saying if it's a gift you should give it for free. Really, would you say that to a priest?
Would you say it to
Because
your doctor?
exactly, but I'm talking about a priest just because of the faith thing, because people call that a
Oh
gift
yeah.
as well. But if you're a priest, you get paid. They might
Oh
not
yeah.
call it a wage; they call it
Oh yeah.
a stipend or a stipend, however you want to pronounce it. You can Google it. It's on
A
the Church of England
donation.
website. But no, they get an allowance of up
Uh-huh.
to maybe 26 grand a year, which you
Yeah.
can find on the Church of England website, and they give that to the priest so they can concentrate on their vocation. Well, what I'm doing here is not a hobby. This is my
Uh-huh.
job. This is part of me. This is what I do. It's a passion. This is not a hobby here I've got going on here. And so if you're going to say if you're not going to say to a priest, why'd you do that for free? Then don't say the same thing to me. That really annoys
Exactly.
me. When you look at that, though, you have to look at your self-worth. And I'm going to pick up on something you said earlier on about not wanting to resent it. Now, I've got to be
Mm.
very honest. I went through a period where it was during COVID, and I'd left my previous job um, because I hadn't had enough of it, and the half again come back to support of my partner said, hand your notice in because he was doing quite well in his job. Hand your notice in and do your spiritual work. So I did. And a year later, almost a year later, that job I left, everyone had been made, every single person in that office and the office I came from originally had all been made redundant, and they shut the offices down. So I got out there just in time. However, through that period, I was so stressed because the money weren't coming in that I had to go out and get another job. So I put myself on the front line during the pandemic. I went to work in pharmacy,
Mm.
and I almost started to resent mediumship because I thought to myself, well, if I'm meant to do this and spirit want me to do it, then surely they'd be helping me out. They'd be making sure I can survive in what I'm doing. And I started my self-worth is so affected that because I thought if I'm not getting bookings, I mustn't be any good, or I'm not as as tuned in as that person or as accurate as that person. But people know I'm very accurate and I'm very specific.
Mm.
Um, but people weren't booking me. So in my head, I'm like, well, maybe I'm not good enough. And I really started to resent mediumship. And I went through a
Mm.
number of periods like that, thinking, well, why am I doing it? Why am I doing this work when I can't survive on it? Hence the reason I've got another job as well. Um, and you do start looking at yourself and going, well, I'm trying over here, trying to survive. I'm doing my best work, and I always
Mm.
put my passion into it and my dedication into it. And it's not quite happening for this reason or that reason or whatever. Um, and so you do start to think about why am I doing
Is
it?
doing it.
And any mediums that are doing this work that are
Yep.
new to it, be prepared for that. It's a
Oh
normal
yeah.
thing that you go through because we're passionate about it. If you're doing it for the right reasons, you're passionate about it. And when you don't do maybe such a great job that you think you're not doing, you then look at yourself and go, well, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. I'm rubbish. Spirit don't want me,
Yeah.
and all that stuff goes on. But um, it's remembering. I saw a post by another medium of the day saying you must be your own cheerleader. You must believe in yourself and
I always say be your own best friend.
be your own best friend because not
Mm.
everyone else is going to believe in you. So if you've got that self belief, no one can take that away from you. So you've got to be your own, your own cheerleader. But that's a bit of a tangent. But anyway, coming back to the whole charging thing.
Go
I
on.
remember back at the beginning when I started, I was still in development circle, but I was doing my little readings outside. This one I was doing them for free, and I went to the church open day. Like they had a little fair in there, and I wasn't working because I was still new, so I was still training, so I wasn't asked to do readings or anything. So I went along to support the church. And I sat down in the chair opposite this crystal stall because I'm a bit of a bit of a magpie when it comes to crystals. And the lady there who was selling them was a medium. She come down, sat down beside me, and we started having a chat. And she recognised that I was a medium. And she said, so what are you charging for your readings then? And I
Mm,
went, I think I was a little bit embarrassed. I don't know why, but I said, nothing, I do them for free. And she looked at me and smirked and she shook her head and she went, no, 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 no.
mm.
And she said to me, how can you possibly value yourself and value your ability and your worth if you don't put a value on it? I said, how can you continue to do this work when
Yep,
you obviously you don't value yourself? And from that
exactly.
point, I thought, actually, that's a very good point. And that, yeah, I'm not valuing myself because I'm just keep give myself away for free. And if you look at that, people, and it's not just mediumship, but life in general, people don't value anything that's free.
No, they don't.
Because if you think about even going to the supermarket and maybe you've gone through checkout and you've not no maybe tapped something in, you get home, oh, we've got free chicken. If you stick that chicken in the oven and you burn that chicken, you're not going to go, oh my God, I paid £6 for that chicken and now look, it's cremated. No, you go, oh, that's a
No, it's
bugger,
free.
isn't it? Never mind. And you chuck it in the bin and nothing
Uh-huh.
else. And you don't. So we have to look at that as well, is that people don't value free.
They don't. I'll give you an example, right? Every time I have given away a competition, a free, you get a free reading, you get this, you get that. I never get thank you. This is when I stopped. I gave away a free mediumship reading to a mother who lost a mother in spirit, right? I gave away my time, my energy, done the connection. I didn't even get a thank you at the end of it. That's when I went, I'm never doing this ever again. And do you know what it is? If you give away things for free, guess who you're going to attract? Seagulls. Seagulls come for the
Mm,
free fish and chips, and then they don't come back. They'll never book you again.
yeah,
The ones that come and have a reading for free will never pay for you to have, will never come and have a reading with you and pay for your services later. That's what I
yeah,
have found.
yeah,
The other thing is what I found is what you charge is the type of people that you will attract.
yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that as well. Um, yeah, you attract. I guess you attract the clients that
Yeah,
I don't really know how to put it, but yeah, you attract the right
that
clients for
value
you
you.
that value
Yeah,
you. I
that
guess is
value
that's probably
you.
the way because they know that, um, and it's not the case of oh they're more expensive so they're better.
No.
It's more I don't know. It's like when you look at like if you go into a cheap shop and you buy something like you got the pound shop for example, like we've got
Mm,
in the UK and so you've got them in Australia, the pound shop or the dollar shop.
yep.
You're not expecting that item you buy to last for 12 years. You expect to buy it because it's cheap and it might break. So you're not bothered if it breaks or not. And it's
Yeah.
similar with mediumship. So I know there are people out there who charge like 20 quid for 20 minutes or whatever else, but then my advice is look at that.
Mm,
I'll use if that resonates with you and you're surviving, absolutely fine.
mm,
But if you're finding that you're struggling to make ends meet and you're not attracting the best people, I don't know what I mean by best, like people who actually value you is probably a better way of putting it, then you've got to look at that and go, well, do you know what? I need to find my worth here. It's all lovely trying to be the medium who gives discounts, and I do give discounts to my subscribers, actually, absolutely,
mm,
because they subscribe to my services, so I do kind of give them that exchange back to them, if you like. But I think there are mediums out there who don't want to be seen as charging too much because then for them, in their mind, they're taking the mick out of people. But it's not that at all. It's if you've again, if come back to what I said earlier, if you've built that skill and you know what you're worth and what your value is, and you've worked hard on your ability, then you deserve to be paid for it as well. But if you've been doing the job 6 months, then maybe yes, your prices will be lower. So as I said earlier on, it's very relative to your circumstances. But as Bill says to me, and other people have said to me as
mm.
well, is that you need to own your power and increase your. I can't remember to tell you the amount of people that have said to me, you need to increase your prices.
Yeah.
But there's something in me that I don't know, which kind of stops me from putting it up too much. I think in the 8 years I've been doing private readings or whatever else, I've only increased my prices about 3 times, 3 or 4
Same as
times.
me.
And I look at that and go, well, actually, if you look at someone in a full-time job, they probably, not all the time, but probably get a pay rise every year. It might not be a lot, but they still up their wages. At the end of
And
the day, my bills don't come down. My bills do
yeah,
nothing but go up. The 20,
same. And
the
we don't get paid extra for doing it at night or for doing it on the
no,
weekend or anything like that. We get penalty rates.
no, exactly. And the 20 or 25 quid I get paid at a church doesn't even cover my water bill, or my internet
Exactly.
bill, or my insurance, nothing like that. So even the smaller bills that we have, so the price that we get paid when we do demonstrations or church services does not even cover it.
The
You were going to
spirit
say something?
wants us, yeah, the spirit wants us to thrive, not to scrape by. Do you know what I mean? Like they're it's always about abundance and the flow. It's always money is energy. It's an energy exchange. So you're actually not paying for our gift. You're paying for our time. It's time.
hmm It's not a money making, as much as we want the money and we need to live, it's not a money making scheme. So anyone out there that's doing this mediumship to be famous or to make a load of money, if you are
Mm.
making a load of money, congratulations to you, as long as you're going the right way about it.
One other thing is our business is the hard thing is it's not like a business that has loyalty in it. I'm lucky I have returning clients
No, I
all
do
the
as
time.
well, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a business that doesn't really have loyalty, if you know what I mean. It's not like you need a reading every month, so I have to keep going back to Glenda every month. Do you know what I mean? It's like every 6 to 12 months is kind of when you should be having a reading. So by that time to swing by, people go, oh, there's another medium or there's a psychic in town. I might go try that person or I'll go and try someone that's out of town. It's not a business that creates a lot of loyalty, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, and I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking about what other topics to do on the podcast. And I always say I only do what has value. And I think that with this work that we do, it's why I don't tend to do Facebook Lives anymore on all these
Yeah.
spiritual groups on Facebook, because what I find is, this is just my opinion, is that there there's no value in mediumship if that person's going to keep going to loads of different mediums every
Hmm.
single week.
Hmm.
And it's not to say, look, you have to keep coming to me, because there are other great mediums out there. And sometimes, yes, you do need to go and find what resonates with you. So this is not about, please come to me and have a reading with me. This is not what it's
No.
about. What it's about is what value in general does mediumship hold these days?
Yeah. I mean, we
Because the
were both
market's
on S we were both on SPTV. You would see the amount of people that roll through. Can I have a reading? 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 You just got a reading off me. You're jumping on with David now, get another reading. Now you're going to
mm,
jump on another reading. Do you know what I mean? It's just
yeah.
wherever you can get a free reading, that's it.
That's it.
It's
But if you chart, because I remember doing Facebook Lives, and I wouldn't do readings on them all the time. It would be a Q and A, because I like talking about it. And
mm,
you'd notice, as soon as someone asked, "Are you doing readings this evening?" and you said no, they'd drop
they drop.
off,
Absolutely.
because they're just after the free, which says to me that they don't hold any value, not in you as a
Hmm.
person necessarily, but they don't hold any value in mediumship if they want it for free, for free, for free, for free, for free.
Seagulls. Seagulls.
It's
They're there for the
so.
free chips.
Yeah, but no, but what I'm concerned about really is what value is mediumship holding these days, because the market is so saturated with all these free TikTok lives and free Facebook
Mm,
lives and free this, free that, all these Facebook groups. We're starting to lose the value in mediumship, because, as you say,
yeah.
you'll get one person, and someone said this on a Facebook group the other day. They were I don't know if you saw it, but they were in a development circle. They weren't actually doing the work; they were just there for a reading. They would be on Zoom, on two separate Zooms at the same time, hoping to get at least a reading from one of them. And
Wow.
that, yeah, and the owner of the group had put a post on Facebook saying, yeah, obviously you're free to do what you want, but if you come in our circle, please stay here, because your attention is now being taken. by another circle you're on at the same time. I mean, to me that's just that's just
Taking the
taking
piss.
the piss, isn't it?
Oh,
But again,
wow.
but again, it showed they don't hold any value in mediumship because if
No.
you did and you really wanted that reading, you would pay for it. Now, again, I
Yeah.
understand not everyone has the money, but I'm in that same position.
Yeah.
I'm just on the
Yeah.
other side of it. Trying, I don't have them. I have the money to pay. I'd love to be out there buying nice things, but I'm not materialistic anyway. But I'm in that same position. Just because I'm doing this job does not mean that I'm any richer than any other person who's not doing this job. We're all in the same boat in this horrendous economy that we're in.
Mm.
I don't have extra money to throw away either. So I think people need to look at that as well and go, actually, that medium is just doing their job. They're not rich and everything else. They're in the same position as me. I'm doing my job down Tesco's, you do it in a supermarket, and Dave is doing his job doing the mediumship and whatever else. We're the same, just doing different things.
That's
But
right.
we are not exclusive to each. We're in the same exactly the same boat. Um, and I know I could sell it for myself, I could sell it for you. Other
Mm.
mediums on different positions if they're doing loads of shows and earning from that. But then again, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes with them. So,
Yeah.
same if you go to a concert, you pay God knows whatever you're paying for a ticket. So if you go to see a medium, it's the same thing. You're paying for that ticket. You're going to see a show. And so it's I know to the outlook, it might look like it's an exercise of money making, but no, we're trying to earn a living like every other person
Yeah.
because
That's
that's
it.
just
And it's
we're just
getting
doing our job.
harder. It's getting harder and harder with like I think my page has been copied this week, this week just gone, you know what I mean? And they were trying to get money out of my clients, and my client nearly handed over the money. And she said the only thing that turned her off was there was too many hearts. She goes, you're not about the hearts in the messages. And she goes, that's when I knew it wasn't you. And she said, I nearly gave her my credit card details. No, and it was, I can do my reading on WhatsApp. I don't
No,
get that. I really don't get it. Just do it through Zoom and just be authentic. Show your face. What are you hiding behind? I don't get the WhatsApp thing. Is that to dodge paying for Zoom? I don't know because I don't really know anyone that does the WhatsApp.
no. It's just it's what we're talking about. People listening is hackers and people
Yeah.
scammers that are
Scammers,
duplicating
scammers. Oh,
duplicating our business pages to pretend that they're us and then
yeah,
inbox you directly to say I can do a reading for you. I know this has been said across multiple platforms for many mediums, but as authentic mediums, no true medium or psychic will ever inbox you saying, I can do a reading for you for this
yeah.
price. Do not respond, just report them and block them. As much as you might want it to be them, then it's not
That's
them.
not.
Look
No.
at the name that has been
Hmm.
put on the new profile. So I think for Glenda it said Glenda Marie Psychics
Kicks.
Medium. There's no
Mm,
S in psychic.
no.
Glenda is
They
Glenda
can't
Marie
even spell.
Psychic Medium. No. Or they duplicate a letter at the end of the name or put a
Yeah.
dash in or to make it
Yeah.
different from the original profile. So people pay attention to that. Do not be bought into that's the scammers world because you're feeding into them. And you know what social media platforms do fuck all about it. They don't
They,
care
yeah.
because the more profiles they've got on their platform, the more they can shout, look how many people we've got on our platform. We're beating TikTok and whatever else.
Mm,
They don't care. They talk about community guidelines, but they don't give a shit. As long as they've got people on their platform, whether it's a duplicate profile, a scammer's profile, they don't care because it just adds to their figures. So they don't care about the scammers. They don't do anything about them. And I know that from personal experience. My mum was hacked the other day as well,
fuck.
and I've still kept the old profile on there. And it's like they don't care. They do not care.
No.
These platforms. So do not pay any attention to them. Just block them, report them,
Makes
block them.
again
Just don't.
comes back to making it even harder for us
Yeah,
to try and make any money and, you know, keep surviving in this business. It's very hard.
it's very hard. Um, and people, if you want a decent reading, I know not everyone has that disposable income,
Mm.
but if you really want to connect to your loved one, go and book a private reading, no matter who it's with, and pay for that reading and have that time with that medium, whether it be half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it might be, because that's where you get the value. That's where the value is. That's where you get what you need. If you're on these, and I don't turn people away from these, from let's say from the online stuff, but because those people are also trying to help people, but they again, it's all free, free, free. It's like a free for all. Everybody's commenting, can I have a reading, can I have a reading, can I have a reading, and it's lost its value straight away because
Yeah.
again, you've got a audience full of people, and you want to get to as many people as you can, and therefore the reading's not going to be that in depth because you've only got a certain amount of time with people. Now, look, that might be okay for some people. Some people might just need to hear your mum's there. If that's what you need to hear, then that's fine. But I know
Yeah.
from my point of view, I need to give more than that to a person to let them know that their loved one's with them. How about what we said before in the last episode? We talked about the names and evidence. I could
Yeah.
say to someone, "Oh, I've got your dad here. His name's Edward. He smoked a lot, but he's here and he loves you." Is that enough for people? In
No,
my
not
opinion,
for
that might
me.
be not for me. It's not. That might be for a person watching, but for me, that's not enough to give. And
Mm.
so again, I would say, I mean, again, if that resonates with you, then no, obviously, then do it. But um, if you want, that proper full connection, go and pay for reading, have reading, support that medium, support them and their business. It's about supporting those small businesses as well. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
To help keep people afloat as well. Because look, we're in the same position as you. We're also trying to keep our head above water.
Mm.
Is what we're also trying to do. So those of us that are doing it for the right reasons, of course. But
And I
yeah,
always thought Dems were just to also showcase that medium. If you like the way that they're working, you book them. You
yeah,
book them.
yeah.
It's kind of like advertising as well. So
It
it's not
can be. It
just
can
about
be.
getting a free reading.
No, but it's also about when you go to see a dem. It's about sitting in the energy of spirit.
Energy of the,
Because
yeah,
when I go to a dem, I don't go to get a reading.
no,
And I know if I go with my mum, when I take her along with me, she doesn't go for reading. She's lost a lot of people as
yeah.
well. But we go just to watch someone. And mum says to me when she comes to watch me, if I'm in her area, she'll say, should I just enjoy watching everyone else's readings?" Because you
Hmm.
can see that you can always take something from it, whether it be, if that person up there is all right, then her person's going to be all right up there. But she just enjoys the atmosphere, and that's what that's about as well. So yeah, you just got to go with what resonates with you. But I said just don't expect everything for free because there is no value in giving free all the time. And I've certainly learned that when I didn't charge, I look back at it and I go, well, I didn't value myself at all. And
Yeah.
even now, I get those moments of, am I charging enough? And I think, do I need to charge more? Am I at the right place? And you start comparing yourself to other people, going, well, they're charging that, so should I drop my prices then? Because they're really good, but they don't charge. But it's demographics as well. So in Australia, it's going to be very different
Exactly.
to what it is where I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
The northern part of the country is going to be very different to the southern part of the country, for example. So you do
Hmm.
have to look at that. Do have to look at that as well. But the message here, people, really is if you're a medium and you're working out there, don't undersell yourself. And I was
Yeah.
afraid that if I increased my prices, that I would lose my customers. But you know what? That's not happened.
No,
In
I
fact,
never
I try,
lost any.
I attract
Hmm.
the customers that I guess I'm supposed to attract. And it's not really it's kind of it's the same whether I charge 25 quid or not. I guess it's just when people look at you, they think, "Oh, I want to read them with him," or I don't, or I don't, and I can't really help that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you've got to be comfortable in your heart with what you're charging. And if you're not, if you're being flogged and if you're getting people that don't value you, don't respect you, they're just rude to you, um, it's maybe time to increase your price.
Because you will
That's,
find, I'm telling you now, people, you will find that if you continue giving yourself away for free, or you charge 20 quid, eventually, like I did, you start to resent it. As I said before, you do start to resent the work because you say to yourself, I'm giving all of my energy, I'm giving all of my time doing my best. Even when I wasn't charging, I was still giving 110% of myself to my readings. I wasn't doing, I'll give 50% of myself today. Absolutely not. I was still giving
Mm,
110%. And over time, you go, why am I giving this much energy and I get absolutely nothing back for free? It's affecting how I pay my bills, is affecting the pressure that I put on myself um, to earn more money. It makes me feel guilty because all the pressure now is on my other half to pay the bills, and I hate that because when I was working full time and I pay for when I was single as well. I've always looked after myself. I've always been self-sufficient. I've never relied on
mm,
anybody
yeah.
for money. So then when that started to happen, where my other half had to pick up the slack, I started to resent mediumship, thinking this should not be happening. I've never done this in my life. I've been in this position in my life
Mm,
that someone else had to pick up some of the slack or whatever. And I started to really doubt myself and why I was doing the work.
hmm
And it's not because spirit weren't there, because they were, but I started thinking, well, if spirit, if you're truly there, and my guides are there, and they're highly intelligent, and all that business that we always say, why am I in this position? And you can, I mean,
Yeah.
I could do that all day long and blame other people, but I made the choice to leave work, but so that's my choice. But you got to think to yourself, what am I worth? What is my value? And in order to for me to continue doing this work for hopefully a long time yet, I've got to have that exchange. I've got to be able to look after myself, look after my other half and whatever else, and still pay my bills while still feeling good about the work that I do.
Yeah.
And if that starts again, then there are decisions that I'm going to have to make seriously. Because look at the world we're living in is, I think sometimes it's getting worse. Without trying to sound
Mm,
too maudlin about it and to finish off on a negative note, it's not that at all. But you've got to look at the realities of your situation and your circumstances.
yeah. And,
You
and
know,
and the other thing is how many, with the readings, how often are you doing them? How many are you doing? I was only saying this to my students yesterday. It was all well and good, when I first started. I smashed out 9 readings in a row because I didn't understand how draining it was and spent the
yeah,
next 3 days in bed. But at the same time, do you know what? I'd hate to be the person that's 7, 8, 9 because I'm getting the bits that are dregs and I'm
yeah,
the medium's tired, like you're not getting a full connection. I'd rather smash out 2 or 3 and be full of energy and have awesome readings than some go to someone that's smashing out 7 or 8 because really? How many every medium that I know does not do that many readings.
yeah. I think we've learned that over time is that when you give, I know when I do a dem, the next day I'm knackered. Again, it's only because we give our heart and soul and our full energy to it. I never go to a dem going, oh, I've only got 70% today. No, I
Yeah.
give my full strength, my full energy. And then because you do that, we should be, get that energy exchange back at the same time as well. And I
Yeah.
think, when you do, like you said, I mean, I've been in that position where I've done God knows how many readings in one day, and you come away from it thinking maybe the last two weren't so great, and then that does start affecting your self-worth. You
Mm,
think, oh, I thought I was good at the first seven, and the last two, am I? Do you start to think, have I lost it? Or you don't at the time. You don't think about your energy because you're just doing it.
no.
You just
Yeah.
think, oh, maybe that I wasn't so good then, and so all those things, it can all lead to you feeling like you're not good enough and you're not worthy of doing the job, because if you were so worthy, you'd be able to smash all of those 9 out with the same energy, with the same evidence, and that's not the reality. So you have to look at that as well, and really
Yeah. The
place
quality.
the quality and place in your energy where it's best utilized.
And then that comes back to the money. So you're doing like that was charging $50 to do 9. So shouldn't you, if you're getting those people coming, shouldn't you consider upping your price and doing less? So
Yeah,
your energy is sustainable and you've got it there to give
yeah,
equality.
yeah.
So
It's
Things to
all,
think about. Yeah,
yeah, it's all got,
it's all learning. Hey, we all go through it. I had to go through it and learn the hard way. I'm one of those people that didn't have someone to tell me what to do, didn't have a mentor telling me what to do along the way. You just got to fumble through until you find your way. And you know what? You do. You do. You work
yeah,
it out.
you figure it out, but you will, it goes through stages, you go through ebbs and flows, and you will work out along the way, what it is that you want to be doing. You do start to put yourself in your power a little bit more. Again, you'll go through the stages of, oh, I don't feel good enough today or whatever. But then we'll come back around again, and you'll figure out along the way, what is right for you. So
Hmm.
again, we're saying all this, but it's what's right for you. If you feel it's right to charge £25, then that's up to you. But you then have to look at, okay, what are you attracting with that 25? How much work are you doing with that 25? Are you burning yourself out with that 25? How many clients do you have with that 25 versus what can you change, which is going to help you in the long run to sustain, that's probably a better word, to sustain yourself, just to
Yeah.
sustain this work on the long term, if you want to do it, if you want to do it long term. So I'm trying. I wish I was more business brained, but I'm not. um, I feel like for myself, I need to get myself in that mindset more of it being a proper business.
I look
So
at
that's
mine
one.
like a business. It's just a
I mean,
business.
I
It's a
I
trend.
try.
It's you have to because, but at the same time, like I love my business. It means everything to me, and my clients mean everything. I give 110%, and everyone knows that. But at the end of the day, you have to treat it like a business. There has to be boundaries. You can't cross your
Mm,
boundaries because people will keep taking and taking if you don't have boundaries in the business.
yeah,
They do.
yeah.
Well, David, I guess that that's our chat for this week.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've rambled on and ranted and gone off different tangents, I suppose, but just shows the how natural it is. It's not, we don't necessarily plan out what we want to say. It just comes out of the mouth, doesn't it?
It does, with lots of swear words from
Yeah.
me.
Oh, I did today as well because I think some issues within this topic annoy me, and I think sometimes when I'm a bit irritated, it's I get a bit more straightforward, more direct than normal. But there you
I
go.
love
That's
it. I love
is
it.
what it
I
is.
love it. It's shy little David that just cuts sick every now and then.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I don't normally get to I don't know, loud or whatever. But when things annoy me like that, it's just I guess it's just ignorance of people sometimes. One, the
It
skeptics
is.
more so,
Yeah.
that annoy me, like But anyway, won't go on about it. I think I'll hush my gums now, so we'll finish the episode here. So, listeners, as always, thank you very much for listening to this ranty episode. Hopefully it made sense. We did go off on different tangents. Might be a little bit disjointed in certain places, but I hope it made sense overall. But anyhow, thank you very much, Glenda,
Thanks, David.
and we'll see you all again soon in the Spirit Lounge.
Thank you so much for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, and if there's a spiritual topic you'd like us to discuss, or if there's a spiritual question you'd like our input into, then please send those topics and questions to us at glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we will get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you could like and share this podcast, as well as leaving us a comment or review about what you thought, then that would really help us out and we'd be very grateful.
We would indeed. But it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.